Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Right now, everyone is jumping into Vanguard gameplay, sort of on that level playing field, right? I mean, it's obviously brand new, not a ton of time has passed yet to really get that full feel for the game and to master everything there is to it, but we have had a chance to play a good bit of it so far. With that, today I wanted to take my experience on the game so far and share some of the biggest and best tips that I've acquired through playtime. Some things that'll make gameplay more enjoyable, some things that'll help you become a better player, so on and so forth. So as we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, or if you find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be seriously appreciated. Let's try and aim for 3,000 likes on this one. And of course, if you're new here, or if you're part of the 57% of viewers who have not already subscribed, this is the place to be for everything going on in COD. News, updates, tips, class setups, it is all right here every single day. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also, Code Immortal is still 30% off on everything on the G Fuel site for the time being, so if you want to grab anything to help with that Vanguard grind, now is the perfect time to do so. If you're looking for tubs, shaker cups, starter packs, anything like that, Code Immortal has you covered. Now, first up, let's talk the overall meta here in Vanguard, because yes, here just a couple of days into the life cycle, there is a very clear and dominant meta in my opinion. And no, it's not the absolute best weapons, although there are plenty of really good ones to be using. I will talk more on that in future videos here on the channel for sure. But when it comes to overall gameplay, really in this game, movement is the meta. It's very similar over in Warzone now. Like, weapons in Call of Duty at this point really are not all that hard to master. We actually have some tips talking about weapons in specific coming up later on in this video. But when it comes to, how you're going to maneuver around the map, how you're going to outplay other players, it does not always come down to just weapon on weapon fights. A lot of the time it is about positioning, it's about the finesse, who can outmaneuver the other player. And when it comes to movement in this game, you got a lot of different options because movement this year is just so smooth. I personally love it. First things first, jump shotting and B-hopping in this game is incredibly easy. I'm not sure why, but in Vanguard Multiplayer in specific, you can string bunny hops or B-hops together so easily. It doesn't really take all that much timing, whereas like over in Warzone, it definitely takes a lot more skill and practice to master B-hopping and to be able to consistently and consecutively do it, right? In this game, it's very simple. It seems like from day one, I was able to pretty much string them together with ease. Like, it didn't take much practice. Almost right out of the gate, I felt like I could pretty much comfortably do it in any fight that I needed to. Of course, the most efficient way to get that B-hop off is to do a tack sprint or a full sprint, then into that jump, and then as you hit the ground, you want to jump again. And that'll give you that extra hop. It gives you a little bit of a speed boost as well in that second hop. And when players are trying to track that, it becomes increasingly difficult as you're doing that B-hop motion because it's unexpected and it's sort of unpredictable. Whereas for you, nothing really changes. You know what's coming, so you know how to prepare for your aim, for your recoil control. Everything in that fight is on you. And if you can master the B-hopping, that's incredibly good for gameplay. It's going to allow you to outmaneuver and outplay enemies time and time again. Alongside that, we also obviously have slide canceling back now. It feels very similar to Warzone. It's incredibly fluid and way more fluid than it was before back in like the beta version of the game. It's super easy now, of course. Slide canceling, same mechanics as over in Warzone, going from a sprint into a slide. While you're in that slide, you're pressing slide again and then jumping as you're getting out of it to reset that tack sprint. You can keep doing that over and over again. It allows you to maneuver around maps faster and also makes you a much harder target to hit. And if you string that together, pushing into gunfights with a slide cancel, you go in, you hit that jump shot into the B-hop, your movement's going to be on another level, and 99.9% of the time, you're going to be able to just finesse enemies for pretty easy kills. So movement this year is absolutely the meta. Now that said, obviously some gun skill and some gunplay does factor into obviously who's winning the fight and who's not. And something you can do to absolutely help yourself in every single gunfight you get into is learn your recoil patterns. Something that we saw that started back in Modern Warfare, then continued in Cold War, and now it's continued into Vanguard, is a predictive or predictable recoil system. This means that every single time you shoot a weapon, it's going to behave the exact same as before. If you have a certain set of attachments, every time you're using that attachment setup, the gun is going to behave and it's going to kick, and all the recoil is going to happen in the same exact way every time you fire. And in turn, if you spend a couple of minutes in a private match shooting into a wall and seeing what the bullet pattern is like and what the recoil pattern is like, you can know how to counter that right away. And that is an easy and very simple way to master any given weapon in the game. And it's going to make gunfights way easier because you know exactly how that weapon is going to behave and react every single time you shoot it. So learning recoil patterns is one of the quickest and most efficient ways you can help yourself literally every time you play the game and in every single gunfight you get into. And moving on after that, something that you really want to do with weapons now as the game is still early is level those overpowered weapons first. There are a couple of weapons in this game that are incredibly good. Things like the STG, the MP40, so on and so forth. Those weapons that everyone is talking about right now, you probably want to level up and complete some camo challenges on right away, because there's a good chance that very soon here, they're going to end up being nerfed. This is a pattern every single year. The game launches, there's a few select just broken and ridiculously good weapons, and about a week or two in, they get some pretty big balance passes done to them, and they become a lot more balanced and less overpowered. So if you find a weapon that you feel like is just absurdly good right now, use that weapon 24/7, get the challenges done on that, get it leveled up. That way, if they nerf it, you don't have to worry about using it when it's in that less powerful state, right? Then after that, when it comes to just getting the most kills in the shortest amount of time possible, the biggest tip I can give you guys here is to play Blitz. Obviously, we have our different combat pacings this year. Tactical is that more traditional standard like 6v6 modes. Blitz is the chaos, and it is so much fun. It basically allows for the most players to play in a game on whatever given map. So sometimes it can be 24 versus 24 like on Red Star. Other times it's only like 8 versus 8 or 10 versus 10. But the more players there are on the enemy team, the more potential there is for kills. And let me tell you, on some of the maps like Das Haus, playing Blitz on that is just utter chaos, and it offers so many kills, so many easy ones at that. The spawn traps are insane. Like, it is just non-stop action from start to finish. So if you want a lot of kills, if you want quick kills, if you want a lot of XP and quick XP, Blitz is the way to go. Your KD is probably not going to flourish here because the spawns are not ideal. Players will spawn next to you, they'll spawn behind you. There's nade spam, streak spam, all sorts of stuff, but that action is equal to XP, it's equal to kills, and it is by far the most efficient way to get things done very quickly right now. So Blitz 100% is the mode and the combat pacing that I would recommend playing right out of the gate. Then the final tip for today is a big one, especially if you're a console player: change your FOV. Now, if you played Cold War, you did have this option on console. It is back here again in Vanguard Multiplayer for PC and for console as well, and it is the best thing you can do for gameplay experience. Playing on 80 FOV is like looking down a tunnel where you have no vision, right? It limits you in so many different ways. Now, you don't always have to play on 120 FOV, but playing on something higher than 80, whether it is 90, 95, 100, 110, whatever it may be, is gonna be so much better. It does take some time to get used to, but after you do get used to it, your gameplay is gonna feel so much more smooth, and you're gonna notice a big difference in just the quality of the game itself. And also, while you're at that, I'd also recommend changing your ADS field of view to affected. That way you have less visual recoil. It makes weapons just easier to use in general. It's easier to track players, to trace players. Changing your FOV is a must do this year, and easily one of the biggest tips out right now. So there you have it. Those are 5 key tips that honestly I feel like every player needs to know here in Vanguard. These will change your gameplay. These will change you as a player, make you better, make you more efficient day in and day out. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, or if you just simply enjoyed it, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, this is the place to be for everything going on in COD, between Vanguard, between Warzone, and everything else in between. So feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a spicy discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.